And now I'm more than pleased to welcome the co-founder of Juno to the stage, Jake Hartnell.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Got this clicker. We're here to talk about Juno. Title of this talk. The title of this talk is called DAOs All the Way Down. The saying holds that Juno is supported by a series of increasingly large DAOs. Beneath each DAO is yet another, it's DAOs all the way down. So who am I? I guess I'm someone who wants to build a better future. You know, that would be nice. I'm the co-founder of a few projects. I'm multi-chain maximalist, or at Jake Hartnell on Twitter. And I'm someone who's about to say the word DAO a lot, so just get ready. Someone told me I should put this slide in for those who don't know. What is a DAO? It is an organization constructed by rules and coded as a computer program. There are many types of DAOs. Conspicuously on this chart, we don't see any Cosmos DAOs or Cosmos chains, because Cosmos chains are also DAOs. So what is Juno? It is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. It is a bold experiment. It is a permissionless cross-chain smart contract network. And it's a community. I'm also going to say the word community a lot, so get ready. Why build on Juno? Well, we have an engaged and extremely passionate community. But seriously, it's the best way to launch a new Cosmos chain. You can build your protocol and iterate rapidly on Juno. You can deploy your smart contracts permissionlessly. You don't need to do anything special. You can just deploy them, put them out there. You can get product market fit. You can engage with our awesome community and really get a large amount of users and really prove out everything you're building. And then when you're ready, you can launch your own sovereign chain. And that's something you can only do in Cosmos. You can't do that on Solana. You're just stuck there forever on VC chain. And you know, you could launch your own sovereign chain and use shared security. Oh, and we've got Max. No one else has Max. We've got him. He's ours. You're not getting him. Okay. This is my favorite one. Just strong community, strong Juno. So what makes Juno special? It was airdropped to Atom stakers. There was no VCs, and there was no pre-sale. There's not even a company behind it. It uses the latest CosmWasm, which is actually really important because the latest CosmWasm has really great low-level features for interacting with IBC, for building truly awesome smart chain, or cross-chain smart contracts. And we'll talk a little bit more about the kind of things you can do with that in a bit. But like, also shout out to the CosmWasm team. Wasm is the future virtual machine for smart contracts. Just is. Get ready. Juno has a strong developer ecosystem. So we're gonna show off some of the really cool things that people are building. But we have, because there's no VCs and no pre-sale, we give those tokens to people that actually create the value. People in the community, people that are building really awesome stuff. Those are the people that, you know, that's the kind of capital we want. We want talent, and we want people's time, and we want their love and energy. And we're also committed to fund public goods, because Juno is a chain that is built on public goods. And so keep on the lookout for that. Really excited about Cosmos Builders Foundation. Not my thing, but you know, also supporting CosmWasm development. Oh, and it's also one of the most active DAOs in crypto, at least in terms of on-chain voting. This is a tweet from Larry, who's a May 22 survivor. And Ethereum's top DAOs, 300K votes from all the on-chain votes they ever had combined. And a Cosmos Zone, which is Juno, the chain that must not be named. Over 70K votes for a single poll. Now, does that mean those are all unique people? Don't know. But have you been on Twitter? Everybody's talking about it. What's our secret? Max DPS at all time. And if you don't know, DPS stands for drama per second. Some highlights, because I'm sure people want to talk about, some of the highlights. There was Prop 16, and I kind of feel like this dog after going through that. But really, Prop 16 was groundbreaking. That's the story. Is this title gets it? It's a watershed for blockchain governance, for better, for worse. It was actually really important, and it was a big wake-up call to all the other Cosmos chains that are using the same governance module. And it was complete chaos. Also, you should get some bad kids. They're awesome. Yeah, this is Prop 16 illustrated. It was messy. But more importantly, it was a wake-up call. Politics is coming to a blockchain near you, and like no chain with on-chain governance or DAO is really like immune from this. For a while we've had the Cosmos SDK governance module, and it hasn't really changed much since Sunny wrote it in 2019. And now the Cosmos is a lot more popular. It's growing really, really quickly, and it might be time to start thinking about how do we evolve on-chain governance. All right, so after Prop 16, there was a lot of drama, a lot of fighting, but eventually the community did reach consensus. The consensus was, put the funds in a community-controlled smart contract, which is actually kind of a first, at least in the Cosmos world. A smart contract that's managed by like the community of the chain. That's cool. Thank you for the Confio team and Cosmosm for making things like that possible. It's really awesome. And then, yeah, basically decide the rest in future proposals. To be continued on that front. We'll see what happens. But the point there was to like provide space for people to put together quality proposals and really give time to explore all the options, without making a moral judgment on what should be done. I think that's actually good. That's governance evolving. And Unity Prop passed by a large margin, and so we were ready for the upgrade. What's really funny is we tested this upgrade so much. Strangel Adventures has this amazing thing called IBC testing framework, and we use it to do simulations, and that's how we recovered from like other things, and we use this amazing tool to simulate the upgrade, and we're doing like a really complicated thing, and we were so focused on testing that, and that went flawlessly. But no one, I will never live this down. I literally wrote the instructions to verify the smart contract, and I forgot to run this one line of code the address was wrong, and also none of the validators caught it. So that does open up some interesting conversations. Maybe we can talk about that in Q&A. But there was Prop 21. There was a mistake, and we fixed it. That's the story. Someone go write a news article about that, because that's actually really cool. On other chains, those funds would be locked in a smart contract forever. Like, yeah, how many billions of ETH is just sitting locked in smart contracts? And so this, I think, gets at something that I really want to be the takeaway of this talk. Is governance is a feature and not a bug. We shouldn't just try to be copying Bitcoin, because Bitcoin already exists. It's perfectly fine. If something bad happens, social consensus can do something about it, and that's great. That's really cool. I love this tweet from Zaki. All there is social consensus. Nothing else exists. It's beautiful. And so governance is a paradigm shift in crypto, and it's going to be fun, it's going to be really important, and it's going to be messy, and that's okay. So we have to level up. We have to level up our governance tooling. We have to level up our DAOs. We have to improve our governance processes. I think there's already been, in wake of Prop 16, a lot of really great discussions and suggestions. I've heard Sunny offer really numerous ones for how we can improve, that core governance module. But also really thinking as our community of like, what's the process for proposals to even come on chain? Like, how do we make sure that proposals that do go on chain for a vote are well written, that don't contain, really inflammatory language, or, are just accurate? Coming up with a process for proposals to get on chain. I mean, there's a ton of improvements that can be made. Communities need to explore ideas like codes of conduct and charters. One of the great things about Cosmos is that we can support diversity. Not every chain has to be the same. We can have radical governance chains. We can have chains where like, nah, you can't change anything. That's fine. And as a community, we'll figure out what we want to be. And I think more importantly, we need to support more complex governance structures. We're shoving everything through this core Cosmos SDK governance module. And that's only going to scale so much. If we want to run a big, truly decentralized, autonomous organization, we can't just do it through the current system. Oh, well, that's what I get for writing this presentation on Linux. But so we're launching Juno sub-DAOs. We're launching DAOs that will maintain various functions within the Juno community. Some examples. The core dev DAO. This DAO is going to be responsible for the release process and the development of the core chain. So like Juno D, contributing upstream to Wasm D. This also came out of like basically the typo error that caused a whole media sensation. But we need to have a team that's very, very focused on core dev, and more importantly, has their own budget and autonomy to be like, hey, we need to fund testing for this, or we need to pay this developer to do like this kind of simulation or whatever. They should just be able to do it. They shouldn't have to go to the community and ask, oh, we need to do this thing. Or they shouldn't have to go to like Core 1 and ask, oh, they should just have autonomy to go focus on their true mission. We have the Hack Juno DAO. So with Hack Juno, more on that in a bit. We're going to, that DAO is going to be basically like processing all the nominations and running Hack Juno and assigning prices. There's talk of an events DAO. I think there might be some announcements or proposals about this soon, but basically a DAO that's responsible for creating and sponsoring Juno events all around the world. And then recently there's the Terra Dev Fund, which looks like it's going to pass. Over 5 million, I think it's actually a lot more now because Juno's gone up, but over 5 million in funds to help Terra devs find a home on Juno. And that's run by a multisig that is using some new DAO tooling we're building because we build DAO tooling. So this is DAO, and it's cool. What is DAO? It is fully on-chain DAO tooling, and it's built with Cosmosm. It's no-code DAO tooling, so you don't have to know code to use it. You can just go and use a nice little UI, this little template builder thing that will help you do things like instantiate a smart contract, or mint some tokens, or call a smart contract without having to know anything about code. And it's interchain DAO tooling. I'm going to unpack that in a bit. Moreover, it's next-gen DAO tooling. I'm going to unpack that in a bit. So what can interchain DAOs do? I said it was interchain DAO tooling. Interchain DAOs can hold cross-chain assets. They can make IBC transactions. So a DAO on Juno can make a smart contract call on another chain. And thanks to interchain accounts, they can actually control accounts on other chains, which enables some really cool things. So a DAO on Juno can launch NFTs on Stargaze, or LP its treasury on Osmosis, or host a server on Akash. Interchain accounts is really cool. And they can stake on the hub and secure the hub. DAO is next generation DAO tooling. And by that, our DAOs can do some things that you can't do in Gnosis Safe. DAOs can actually instantiate sub-DAOs with admin abilities. So like parent DAOs can have control over child DAOs. DAOs can also launch smart contracts, which is really cool. This is actually something that's pretty hard to do in the EVM, but thanks to the awesomeness of Cosmwasm, it's possible. And so that opens up a whole new possibility for DAOs to actually launch protocols. And it's completely customizable. We're really trying to build governance Lego blocks. So the DAO V1 contracts, they're modular and composable. You can combine them to create more complex governance structures. And guess what? Middleware is supported. So you can do things like approval flows. So some DAOs on Juno, aside from DAO. Well, we're kind of just running everything as a DAO. Again, I said DAOs all the way down. We're serious about that. This is core 1. You can see everything we're doing. And it's all completely transparent on-chain. This is Dog DAO. You might hear about this soon. There's this mysterious dog token. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but yeah, Dog DAO, one dog, one token. This is a proposal to mint 2 tokens for 2 dogs. So, judging from the vote turnout, and it's currently 100% yes, I think this one is probably going to pass. DNS is a decentralized naming service on Juno, and they're also launching a DAO. There's Juno Tools. Juno Tools allows you to do things like create airdrops, sign and verify messages. They're launching a DAO to build DAO tooling, or just build really cool, useful tooling. And I can't not mention Raw DAO. Look at this. Look at this beautiful thing. This actually demonstrates something else we're shipping with DAO soon, which is called an SDA, or single DAO app. You'll be able to make a custom website for your DAO. Nice and easy, and beautiful too. So yeah, this is Raw DAO. What does Raw DAO do? Well, it's token governance for Juno Swap. This is Juno Swap. This is the raw Juno pool. There's some pretty nice 406.55% APR on that. That's pretty fun. So Juno Swap is a cross-chain DEX, and I'm pretty psyched for it. So long raw. And we're just getting started. That's the really cool thing about Juno, is we've got such an active community of devs, and all this development and traction has really created a nice little ecosystem. And we're already people are talking about like lending protocols, and we've already got some teams like starting on those kind of nice little building blocks. We've got NFT projects. We've got there's this real like snowball of momentum that's starting to build up, and it's really, really exciting. One of the great things about building on Juno is that as all these pieces are built, as this DAO tooling is built, you can leverage that in your own protocol. Maybe you want to do a DAO for AI stuff, or maybe you want to do, I don't know, do whatever you want. We're just getting started though. So what's the road forward? We're going to evolve our governance processes so that Juno can really, really scale as an organization. It shouldn't revolve around one core team. It should just be this really true decentralized autonomous organization. We're going to support the Cosmos ecosystem, because that's what all this was built off of. And we need to continue to improve the performance of the core SDK. We need to contribute to Cosmwasm and make sure that that ecosystem keeps growing and developing. And we're going to implement we're going to incubate a ton of really cool projects. The Terra Dev Fund is really just the start. And we've already been doing Hack Juno, and we've already been doing dev grants. We're building. And then we're going to spin out new zones. And I think that's great for Juno holders. Rather than one of the things that was not so great about Terra is that people were trapped there. You could launch a CW20 on Terra, but you couldn't list it on Osmosis. we let you list it on Osmosis, even though there's obviously Juno Swap 2, which is awesome. But Osmosis is awesome. And I think it's great that we're actually letting people come build with our community, grow their own community, and then spinning out their own Cosmos zone. I think that that's like really awesome and provides a lot of value to Juno holders because they get early engagement with all these projects like up front. And it's pretty sick airdrops. And so we've got Hack Juno that's ongoing now. It's been actually happening for a while, but phase 1 is coming to an end, June 16th. There's a month left. There are 287,500 Juno in prizes, and I think current price is like $8 or whatever, so do the math. The way it works, build something cool in open source, tell the world about it, #HackJuno, or post it in HackJuno on Discord, and then someone in the HackJuno DAO will nominate you, and then go off and like launch your own protocol in Juno and launch your own token. So I'm coming to an end here. It was a long night last night. And I just invite you to come hang out in the Juno Hacker Lounge. We're actually going to be hanging out there. We might actually do some impromptu presentations, show off some of the really awesome things that are being built with Cosmosm. So we'll walk through the DAO V1 contracts. We're going to show you some amazing tools that will really streamline front-end development, including like awesome code generation tools. Yeah, there's this code generation tool. You write a smart contract, and then you run this program, and it generates like all the front end for you for interacting with that smart contract. That's pretty, saves a lot of time. And if you're watching online, Hack Juno and Discord. You can still join us and hang out, but yeah. So with that, we've got 4 minutes and 50 seconds. Ask me your juiciest questions. Q&A, let's go.
Thank you, Jake. And indeed, we have multiple questions.
Oh,
so
wow, I hope they're good.
First of all, why would I, as a Terra developer, go to Juno or FMOS or like one of the other Cosmos layer ones right now?
I think it's just kind of like the most freedom. Like I mean, Juno especially because it's like if you've already got Cosmosm code that's written for the Terra ecosystem, it's really easy to convert that. Like you can probably do a pretty complicated smart contract in like a couple hours, and everyone in Juno is willing to like help you do that. So just don't be shy to reach out. We have many channels in Discord, or you can DM me personally, and I'll connect you to the right people. So it's really easy for Terra projects to switch over to Cosmosm. But in general, why Cosmos is because there's the opportunity to launch your own chain. And I think that eventually projects get to the point where launching your own chain makes sense. Cosmos is all about horizontal scalability rather than vertical scalability. Solana runs into issues because someone does an NFT drop and everyone wants to get the latest monkey and piles in and like shuts down the chain. And if you're a DeFi protocol, you don't want that to happen. So I think that roadmap of being able to like iterate with a community like Juno and then launch your own sovereign L1, which gives you also the most control and the most amount of customization, like that's really cool.
Yeah, totally agree with that. And another question that is very interesting is, what if the social consensus decide that plane does not need the wings on the fly? Isn't there certain things that should be treated differently?
Wait, can you read that question one more time?
Yes,
I just
like
did not understand it.
What if the social consensus decides that plane does not need the wings on the fly? Aren't there certain things that should be treated differently? Sorry, I had to rephrase the question a bit.
Plane that doesn't have wings, like social, it's just, I don't know. I think it's kind of a nonsense question. I'm just going to really, it's just like.
But it sounded smart, so. Anyway, speaking of highest DPS, what do you think of the Terra revival plan?
I don't think it's going to work. I think the key thing for Terra was the whole package. It was Anchor, it was UST, it was all the other stuff, and frankly, it was all the trust too. And I think the trust has kind of been lost, and if it relaunches, like it won't have the same level of excitement as before. So, I mean, I think they should do it. Why not? At least it's something to like all the people that lost stuff, and it'll probably have some value to it. But like, are they just not going to like innovate at all? Are they going to still use the same old version of Cosmosm, but they're not going to have UST, and they're not going to have? Just makes. That's my take. NGMI.
Yeah, and another one, and then if you have more questions, you can ask Jake right after the talk. Is the Juno community big enough and engaged enough for sub-DAOs, or will the super DAO has veto rights, etc.?
This is a really good question. And I think with a lot of this, we're kind of just figuring it out as we go along. That's what happens when you do new things. You have to, have the best intentions, do as much thought as possible, but ultimately like ship things and make decisions and move forward. And yeah, it's a great question. I think in many ways these sub-DAOs could be like operate more like multi-sigs. I think in some cases they'll be like tokenized communities. I actually want to do a lot of experimentation with sub-DAOs. Like I think for certain things like the core dev, for example, the people that are committing code to the chain, we want that to be a multi-sig. Trusted, vetted people that know how the Cosmos SDK works. We don't want just random token holders who don't know anything about the technicals like making these decisions. For something like an events DAO or maybe like a merch DAO, I think there's some interesting possibilities in terms of how that could be organized. So experimentation is good. I don't think there's going to be a one-size-fits-all for these sub-DAOs. And I think in terms of admin rights, again, I think there's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. Sometimes there will be, kind of more structure. And really, the thing that really makes me excited about Juno is the chance to experiment with all this. Like, that's really cool. And I think that because you're doing something experimental and awesome and interesting, like that attracts great people.
A big round of applause for Jake, please.